live on all my platforms. And I'm just going to pretend that I am. And if anyone's there, send me put something in the chat, and then I'll know that you're there. And today, okay, so this is all about, this started my curiosity. I've always been curious as a child, throughout my whole life, very curious. And why do things happen? Like, why does a car that's parked on the side of the road get hit by another car? And at that precise moment, why were those people there? Both of the people. I'm just always curious why things are different, and why people are different, and why they look different, and how they sound different. Why doesn't everyone have the same voice? And so, yeah, I've always asked questions way more than I should have. And so last night I said we were going to talk about what the difference is between synchronicity and serendipity. And I was really trying to think through that. And I had something, I think, that was serendipitous that happened. That I love shopping at thrift shops for little trinkets or little this or that. And I still think I'm going to pay $5 for something, and then be on Antique Roadshow and it's worth like 5 million. But so far that hasn't happened. And so I have this huge purse, and I'm tired of this purse, because really the only thing I need is my cell phone, my keys, like my credit card, my ID, my ATM card. And so I saw this little teeny tiny purse at a thrift shop, and I bought it for $5, I think. And so, but it just wasn't quite working. And then I went on a walk in San Diego. We have a thing called Mission Bay, which is beautiful, beautiful park. And so I was walking at Mission Bay with my friend Kathy Valdivia, and she said she loved it. And it's just what I do sometimes. If I feel like I'm ready to get rid of something, or I don't particularly like it, and you say you like it, I just give it to you. So I said, oh, well, here, take it. Because I was thinking about getting rid of it. I need to get something else. It's not quite working. Because the big ones, what happens is I just start throwing stuff in there. Next thing you know, it's this heavy thing I'm carrying. And so I gave it to her. And so she starts looking through the pockets to make sure I didn't leave anything in there. And she finds a $10 bill. And I said, oh my gosh, and a receipt from like a bank. And I was laughing. I said, oh my God, that must have been in there from the very beginning. And so I said, well, you keep it, because I'm not meant to have that $10. And she said, no, you take it. And so she gives me the $10. And I said, okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to give this to somebody. When I see somebody who needs $10, I'm going to give them this $10. And so then time goes by, and I did have the chance to give it to a man standing on the corner with a sign. And I just felt that feels like serendipity. Like, my life is not completely different because of that. It's certainly enhanced, certainly better. And, but synchronicities are more like things that change the trajectory of my life, or of one's life. So if you don't already know, I read this book last year, The Artist Way. And it really changed my life. And I did it with a really good friend of mine, Alani Bankhead. And I don't even know how we got together to do it. I know I follow her on Facebook, and I'll comment on the great work that she does protecting young children. And somehow we spoke, and somehow the book came up. So then we started reading it together. And there's a lot of synchronicity involved in this. So I just wanted to read something from this book. And it says, talking about synchronicity or serendipity, or what I also call God shots. Is it any wonder that we discount answered prayer? We call it coincidence. We call it luck. We call it anything but what it is, the hand of God, or good, activated by our own hand when we act in behalf of our own truest dreams, when we commit to our own soul. So it's a partnership. Even the most timid life contains such moments of commitment. I will get a new love seat after all. And then I find the perfect one. It was the strangest thing. I was at my Aunt Beatrice, and her neighbor was having a garage sale, and she had this wonderful love seat her new husband was allergic to. Like, how do you explain stuff like that? Like, I have this thought, or I might even speak it. You know, like this person in this instance is saying, I'm finally going to get it. You know what? I'm going to get it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get a new love seat. And here's one that is not even really used because her husband was allergic to it. In outside lives, such moments, let me switch my glasses for reading. They're my computer glasses. In outsized lives, such moments stand out in bas relief, such as Mount Rushmore, Lewis and Clark headed west, Isaac Denison took off for Africa. We all have our Africas, those dark and romantic notions that call to our deepest selves. When we answer the call, when we commit to it, we set in motion the principle that Carl Jung dubbed synchronicity, loosely defined as fortuitous intermeshing events. Back in the 60s, she says back in the 60s, they called it serendipity. Whatever you choose to call it, once you begin your creative discovery, you might be startled to find it cropping up everywhere. So I've had people say to me, you know, those kind of things don't happen. They only happen to you. They don't happen to everybody. And I think it's just because I'm looking for them. I'm attuned to them. And I'm full of awe and wonder of how did that happen? How is this happening? Don't be surprised if you try to discount it. It can be a very threatening concept. Although Jung's paper on synchronicity was a cornerstone of his thought, even many Jungians prefer to believe it was sort of a side issue. They dismiss it, like his interest in I Ching as an oddity, nothing to take seriously. Jung might differ with them. Following his own inner leadings brought him to experience and describe a phenomena that some of us prefer to ignore, the possibility of an intelligent and responsive universe acting and reacting in our interests. So someone recently told me that they say you can believe that the universe is good, or you can believe that the universe is bad, and you'll probably see signs to confirm or to substantiate, whichever way you choose to look. This is still the author, which is Julia Cameron. Again, there's the name of the book. Amazing. It's a workbook, and she has exercises for you to work on. It's amazing. It's totally changed my life. It was my experience that this is the case. I have learned as a rule of thumb never to ask whether you can do something. Say instead that you are doing it. Then fasten your seatbelt. The most remarkable things follow. And that's what I truly believe. And Elizabeth, would you like to come online with me? I see that you're here. Let me see how I do that. Let's see, invite guests. And I copy this. And then I think I put it over here. And then I go like that, and it's there. Okay, yeah, that's better than last night. That's better than last night because last night I put it in something else. I put it on my screen over here, and I don't think people could access it. So if you want to, Elizabeth, you can come on the screen with me. And if you don't, that's fine too. Um, let's see. So let's see what else I wanted to say. Okay, so I did look up also, I said I was going to tell you the difference between synchronicity and serendipity. And okay, here's Janet Palmer saying, check this out. Everything that happens in our life is a part of a created purpose. Nothing is wasted. Janet, if you click that link, you can come on to the show and tell me more about it. It's in the chat. And, you know, we can argue, and I'm not a theologian, and I'm not a philosopher, and I'm not an anthropologist. And I always say people much smarter than me have been trying to figure this out for much longer than I have. So now I just heard a noise. Oh my gosh. Okay, now what do I do? Okay, now.
It's working.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I see you have your Kansas City colors on.
Yes.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Is it serendipitous, or was it, I don't know, I just all of a sudden just worn red, not because.
Okay. Not because you were thinking of the color of the team. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hi.
I don't know. I mean, like, I have more questions than answers. Is that coincidence? Is that like not a big deal? And then sometimes there's things that I just go, wait, how many things had to happen for that to happen? In fact, Elizabeth, but you go by Liz, right?
Yeah.
Liz, you and I meeting, I mean, I put this post on LinkedIn saying that I was going to do this course. And then I think Vivian told me to contact you.
I think so. I'm not sure, because all of a sudden I just got an email from you. That's all I remember.
Okay, so then Vivian must have told me to contact you. And here's the thing. Vivian and I went to coaching school together, but separate. And Janet, I still think you can come on if you want. I believe I can have more than 2 people. So
come on, Janet. Let's have a party.
If you click that link, you can come on. Oh, maybe she left, because now it's showing me I only have 1 person watching. So we both went to the same coaching school at the same time, but in different locations. And then at one point during our coaching courses, we had groups. We had to coach each other, and it was from people that were taking the classes from all over the place, that were going through the cohort at that time in different cohorts. They were going through the program. Send link again. I didn't get it. Okay, here's Janet saying, no, let me see. Hold on.
You might have logged out to come back in again. Oh, and Marie wants to join.
Okay, I'm going to put the link back in the chat.
There we go. Janet's back.
It says, Janet says, I am here, and Marie says she is here. So I'm supposed to be able to get up to 10 people. So maybe I need to do this. Ooh, now we're really close. Yes. Wait a second. Now I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you, Janet and Maria. Maria, unless you know how to tell me to do it. Settings. No. See, I just thought I would see you over here like I saw Elizabeth.
Did she click on the, so on LinkedIn, it pops up on the right-hand side, right above the chat. So Janet, I don't know if you want to click on that link, and then it's going to open up.
Oh, Marie says, I don't want to video in, just wanted to let you know I'm on.
Okay.
And so Janet or Maria, if you want to come on, just click the link and we'll see. I would love for you to click it, and then I'll know if I can have more than one person on. That's weird because it says I'm here, but it's showing me that unless I don't know what this is, it's showing me that only 1 person is listening. Oh, it has me. It has me as when I hover over that little thing says me. So check participants. Okay. You know what, Janet? I'm on Restream, so I don't know how to do that.
Let me see if I can find it for you.
What does this say here? And then another LinkedIn user just says, "I'm listening, Joan." That might be Vivian. That might be Vivian, actually. I think she's just a LinkedIn user.
Ah.
Let's see.
Janet, on the LinkedIn page on the top of the chat, you see where it says click here. Try to click that, but you'll have to, as soon as it starts loading, you might have to close out of LinkedIn because then you start echoing. I don't know if that helps. Everything that happens in our life is a part of our created purpose.
Oh, it's Raina. Hey, Raina. Hey, Raina. We're just talking about serendipity and synchronicity. And let me see if I need to have OBS open. Let me open my OBS, and maybe that'll help. But let me see.
Facebook, you have 2 people watching.
Yeah, let me see if this changes anything.
Okay.
Let's see. I know I can click over here. Okay, so since I have you, Liz, first tell me how to pronounce your last name.
So think of the N as silent, so it's just Dungo. Dungo.
The N is silent. Okay.
Just a bit silent, yes. So it depends on I guess where you come from, but it's Ndungo. Ndungo.
Okay. It's like an N and a D coming together.
Yeah. So most people just leave the N alone and they say Dungo.
Okay. I think my quasi sister-in-law, no, daughter-in-law, my daughter-in-law's sister, her name is they're from Nigeria, and her name, the first 2 letters are N and M. And so I just call her Mach, but there is like but when I try to go, when I try to go Namach, and they're like, no, that's not how you say it. But anyway, do you have a story of serendipity and synchronicity that you would like to share besides the one of us getting together and meeting each other right now? And then sometimes it's good things, and also sometimes it's not so good things that change the trajectory of our lives. And I posted last night on LinkedIn after my trial last night that my trial run on this. Rock, Dwayne Johnson, posted a video. Actually, someone posted it anyway. And in the video, he says, he calls it the greatest thing that never happened. And so sometimes, we get plucked out of danger, or I was going to do that and something told me not to, and it was a really good thing to not do. So.
I can't think of anything at the moment. I would say maybe so my brother came to this country with his wife and joined the army. So when he joined the army, of course he got deployed. So my mother and we were back in Kenya. My mother, my sister, and I came to the country, to the US, to visit him. And coincidentally, I met a couple of his friends, and I was just like, this place is pretty cool. I wouldn't mind living here. So we went back home, and because of the people that I met with my brother, changed my perspective of the country. So then I was like, okay, maybe I could live here, because the perception of America is very different, of course, outside of America.
Tell me what it is. I would love to know what it is.
Oh, I don't know if you really want to know. I don't think you do.
Yeah, I would love to know. I would love to know.
It's well, there's the Hollywood portion of it. So a
Oh
lot of
yeah, 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 yeah.
it just it's Hollywood all the time, right? And because the freedoms are a bit more here, and religion is not such a big thing. Of course, in our country, religion is a big thing. So there's that negative connotation of if you come here, you're pretty much going to, I don't know, you may not keep your faith as much. And um, there just was that connotation of, I don't know how to put this, but back home in Kenya, we're a very socialist country. So we tend to work Monday to Friday, and on the weekends at that time, it's pretty much family time, right? So you'll go, you'll barbecue, you'll do all of these things. And this country is just more of like work, 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 and then more work. So, but meeting my brother's friends changed that mindset of mine. And so then I went back home and I, of course, discussed it. And then my brother was like, just come try it out for a couple of years. And it's been 15 years now. So how weird.
I think all cultures have, and tell me if you agree or disagree, but all cultures have this conception that everyone is what we see on TV.
Yes.
And like I think Americans, I'm not going to speak for all Americans, but we think Africa is jungle and wild animals.
Yeah.
And someone just posted on LinkedIn, I don't know, a few months ago, this is Nigeria, and it was high rises and buildings, and I think we all just go, really? I thought they were just elephants, and so that's cool. That's cool. And I think we do have, oh, here we go. Janet figured it out.
You did?
Now let me see. Now, how do I get her on the screen? Now, just give me a second. Give me a second to figure this out. How did I get us here? Oh, I think I went. Okay, I just want to show Janet real quick. Hi, Janet. Now. I don't know why I can't get more than one person on here. So that'll be my goal for next time. But so Janet, don't go away, because I want to hear Liz's story about her brother and coming to America. Okay, so now I think I do that. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so go ahead, Liz. Tell us about, you came here. What year was it?
2007, I think.
And then when you say here, where was here in America?
So I came to Harlem first, so New York City.
Okay, New York City.
Lived with my brother and his wife for a bit, and then decided to hop around and look for a couple of my friends. So for like a year, I was in North Carolina, then Alabama, then like all these different places. But because of, and I'm a big believer in karma, and I'm a big believer in, is it serendipity? So everything I do, I tend to be like, well, hopefully if I move something here, it might benefit somebody, right? Or if I leave a $10 tip today, whoever it is who's going to get it will be so happy, I hope, right? And it might end up making them skip a beat and just be like super happy that day, which would infect 5 more people, and then we'll be a happier country. So that's kind of how it happened. And while I was living with my friend in Alabama, she got me a job at the Marriott, right? And that's how I ended up working for Marriott, because I did a short stint there and I loved the culture. And I was like, this is the company I want to work at for like the rest of my life. And serendipity right there, I'm telling you.
There you go. There you go. Nan Hamilton says, hey, that's it, serendipity, and sends a heart.
Yeah. So that's my story. I want to hear Janet's.
And you
She's
went from
beautiful.
what part of Kenya?
Nairobi.
Nairobi. Okay. See, at least and Americans, we don't know geography. So at least I've heard of Nairobi. So was that a big culture shock to?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what Harlem is like today or was in '07, but New York City, New York, from Kenya, from Nairobi to New York City must have just. I went from Philadelphia to San Diego in 1977, and it was a huge culture shock, huge. So I can't imagine going from Nairobi to New York City. Tell me about that.
Well, I think it was the journey to New York City, because from Kenya to America in general is a 24-hour day. So there's a flight that's 8 hours, maybe 10 hours, then a layover, which is usually like 2 or 3 hours so that you don't miss your next flight, and then another like 8 hours. So the first time I came, and I share this story and I'm so embarrassed about it most of the time.
No,
It was,
no,
don't tell anybody.
No,
okay,
this is not live. Yeah. No, I'm joking. This is live. This is live.
So my sister and I and my mother, of course, with the first time coming to visit my brother. And so we stopped by, I don't remember where it was, and it was a McDonald's. So of course, McDonald's serve everything in like a bigger size. So that was a shock for me. I was like, why am I getting this really big cup when I just want, like, this is all I want. This is all. And they're like, oh, this is a small. I was like, what? No, it's not. And they're like, yeah, it's a small. And of course the ice, because we don't put ice in a lot of our, okay, at that time we didn't put ice in a lot of our stuff. But anyway, the shocking part for me was, so we go into McDonald's and my mother and my sister and my brother are there. And I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, and of course they have the automatic toilets, right? That flush themselves.
And you had never seen one.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So I use the toilet, and this is so embarrassing. I get up and it flashes itself, and it shocked me so much. I almost fell off. And I'm like, is there somebody like watching me flushing the toilet?
Yeah, that would be freaky.
I was like, what the heck? So I run out. Of course, I wash my hands, right? I run out. I'm like, to my sister, yo, you need to see this. You need to see this. And she's like, what? God, come see. So she goes and she uses the bathroom, and she's like, oh my God, did you see that? And I'm like, oh. So now looking at it, I'm like, that was such an embarrassing moment. But yes, the culture shock was phenomenal. Yes, the small sizing is all off in America. It really, really, really is. And yeah, putting ice in everything, that must be an American thing, because for us, we don't usually put ice in a lot of our drinks. Back then, I can't speak for now. But yeah, that was my most embarrassing culture shock for the first time.
Well, that's not bad at all.
I can only imagine what the McDonald's person was thinking. They're like, what, why is she running out of the toilet like that? What happened?
Hysterical. That would be like us going to a country where they have bidets.
Yes.
Whoa, what's happening? I have not experienced it. So I think we lost Janet. She may have had to get off. So she either lost contact or she had to get off. Nan, would you like to come on and tell us a story of synchronicity? I put the link in the chat, and if you don't see it, I can do it again. And hopefully I'll see you up there. It took Janet a little while, so.
I would love to hear Janet's story. I hope she can come on.
I hope so too. And I know the game is starting right now, so love the real sharing going on here today, ladies, she says, Nan says. Okay, Nan or Raina, do you want to come on? In the meantime,
She said, do it again, please.
Again, please.
It's in the meantime while you're doing that. So it is so weird how I met Vivian. She was my teacher at Marist College. So it was so weird how.
Oh, here's Janet again. Here's Janet again.
Yes. Okay. Yay, Janet.
Ladies, you are awesome. You are awesome, awesome, awesome. And there are no mistakes.
In the meantime while you're doing that. So it is so weird how I met Vivian. She was my teacher.
So I don't know what's happening right now.
I think it's playing in the background. So weird how. Oh, here's Janet again.
Janet, do you have two devices on?
Nope, I'm on. I'm good.
Okay, good. Do you want to share a synchronicity or serendipity story with us?
It's interesting. My entire life, and it's not a mistake that you know, we're on today, because a part of my lineage is very connected to Kenya. My dad, my dad was a vice president of a university in New York, and it was an ag and tech university, and he had a program where he was wanting to sort of introduce the people. You guys have black belly sheep or something?
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to bring a program that would enable the whole coordination of that to farmers and so on. And so there is a picture actually in my house where my dad had gone to Kenya and had recruited several students, one of which had just gotten married. And when he came, he didn't realize that his wife was pregnant. And when my dad went back, he saw this student's mom and his mom holding a baby. And my dad took that black and white, and we had family friends that were an artist. And he had the guy paint that painting from a photograph and posted it just at the stairway, sort of in front of the front door. And we had the guy come over for breakfast, for dinner rather. And when the guy walked in, the guy says, "That's my mom." And then he said, "But who's the baby?" Because there were no grandchildren or anything. And my dad said, "Well, your wife gave birth, and that is your child." And he was he was floored. Number one, that my dad would have taken such a picture, and having taken such a picture, had it painted and posted in his house. So Kenya has always, my parents are Quakers, and we've always had a Quaker mission in Kenya. One of the largest memberships of Quakerism is in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
So
I did not know that. I did not know that.
It's interesting that you and I are sharing space right now.
Very.
So if you're not connected, you have to connect.
Definitely. And, you know, I have recently written a book entitled, now it's almost 2 years, wow, entitled Human GPS, meaning God's perfect script, the fulfillment of my why. And it's on Amazon. And yet it talks about the fact that if we do not live our created purpose, irrespective of whether or not you are a believer, that happens to be my foundation. But everything has a beginning. And in my place of connection with the creation, it says that God picks up every crumb, right, to create something larger.
Wow.
So the smallest crumbs of our lives, things that we think are insignificant,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if we cherish them and know that they could not have happened if they weren't going to be a part of our greatness, we don't look at our brokenness in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
A mosaic is made of broken pieces of glass.
Mhm.
And we are a mosaic for such a time as this in the world.
Mm.
The mere fact that in the midst of all of this chaos that's happening around us, for the three of us to be able, or the rest of us, whomever is on this call, to be able to fight the odds. There's no success without fight, right?
Mm.
To be a fight to get on. There had to be a fight to get onto this call because of the greatness and the possibility that this call will offer to ourselves and those that we connect with. It's just an awesome, awesome concept for me.
Yes.
Janet, what is the name of your book? I'm going to put it in the chat and then put it up so people can see it.
It's called Human GPS.
Human GPS.
And GPS stands for God's Perfect Script.
Oh.
Oh,
The
I like that.
fulfillment of my why. And in 2 hours, you can be empowered and have a new life. Because it's a book that's under 100 pages.
You know, I'm in the process of writing a book myself, and my coach, I've been going over it with my coach, and I said, well, he goes, it looks like you pretty much have everything you need here. And I said, well, it's going to be a very short book. And he said, that's what people want.
Yep. That's
Okay, the fulfillment of my why. Okay, now let me do that. I put it in the chat, and let me do this.
all right. Excuse me, ladies, for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Okay, you know what? Can I push someone else on, because I'm now feeling that I can only have 3 people unless I go up to the next one.
I'm good. Thanks for time shared. You guys are awesome.
I hope you get together. Janet, someone's asking, what is your last name? So before you go.
The palm of your hand with an ER.
Sorry? Oh, Palmer. Nan was asking. So make sure you all connect on LinkedIn, because one thing I'd love to do is to connect people. And serendipitously, synchronicity, whatever, we have 2 people that have a Kenya connection.
How weird.
How weird. Okay, so
Mindfully done. Mindfully done.
right. That doesn't mean you can't come on, Elizabeth, but I'm going to see if I can get someone else on.
Okay. I'll be back.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, now, Brandy, try it again. Either Brandy or Nan, try it. How long did it take you to write the book?
Not even 6 months.
Wow. And where are you located?
I am in Houston right now.
And what is your accent?
I'm a native New Yorker.
I thought, and then I'm from Philly, so I thought a little bit of Philly. I thought I heard a little bit of Philly in there.
But I have the ability to become whatever people need me to become. So it's just one of those things.
Nice.
Thank you so much for time shared.
Oh, thank you. Now wait, before you go, Roxanne Spring says, thereby our presence in this moment connects us with all the intention and gifts.
Very true.
Very powerful. And Nan is saying, I just got shivers. That's a POW book. P-O-W.
Thank you. Please review if you're so led to read it.
Okay, Nan, if you read it, if anyone reads it, please put a review on Amazon. That really helps the author.
I would be humbly honored.
I hope I see you again.
Oh, definitely. Please reach out. I would love to connect.
Okay, so maybe you could be like a guest. I'm going to have guests. And maybe you could be a guest, and then we'll just focus on you and what people say and what comments are coming in.
Thank you so much.
Now, does the P-O-W, because it's capitalized, does that mean something?
It's a power book.
Oh, it's a power book. Okay. Wait, now here comes someone. She's fixing her hair. Make sure her hair is fixed before I push, go. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hi, Nan.
You look gorgeous, Nan.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, I love the colored glasses.
Oh my gosh, what an awesome theme. and that it's you, and that you have all these amazing women. I
Uh-huh.
feel like I tuned into the best thing live on the internet right now. This is
Awesome. Awesome.
awesome. Janet, I got shivers when I heard the name of your book.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank
So
you.
powerful. So really
Thank you.
powerful. Yeah, so I'm up in the Pacific Northwest. The sun actually came out today. We're a little bit in shock. We're all running outside for 5 minutes to get some vitamin D. And Joan knows a little bit of my story. So I have a ton of new serendipities that I almost can't keep track of. So I'd love to share a couple.
I want you to.
Okay, I don't know what the time of your show is.
I actually said 10:30 to 11 because I really wasn't sure anyone was going to come on. But
Okay.
for sure we'll get off at 11:30. So
And it's 11:11, so it feels like
It's
just the right time
11:11,
for
so
me
that
to
means
tell.
something.
It's 11:11, so I'm going to
that
tell.
means something. Yeah.
So Joan, since you and I last talked a year ago, New Year's, so New Year's 2020, I'm sitting in my life, and everything that I've had around me for 40 years has basically disappeared. And there's a moment as a mother and a spouse and a community leader where you think, did all that just happen? Wait, I had a life. Where did my life go? And I asked my soul a question. I'd never done this before, but I sat there and I said, this is 2020. This is a historic year for the whole world. What would I love to have in my life this year that matters to me, that can belong to me, that no one can take away, right? And then a few weeks later, things start coming, and COVID comes, and there's this tumult of all the world. But in the midst of all that, I listened for these words. And it was that I would step away from the rest of the shadow and the sadness around my soul. And Joe knows about this. And that I would meet someone who knew and loved my birth father. So I'm adopted. And my birth father, I was always told, died before I was born. So why would those words, to meet someone I knew and loved my father, my natural father, probably they'd be an elderly relative, old newspaper articles, something that would give me some answers. And then some more words came. Someone that knew and loved him who could tell me the good and true and strong things about him.
Mm.
And I wrote those words down and I looked at them and I thought, but that is just not even possible because
Right.
he died when he was in his 20s and there's no children. And who would even remember or be coherent to tell me these things? And I sat there and went, okay. And I put my name on that. And then within weeks, I got a reach out from an organization that does searching for DNA for free, the details. And I went, okay, I'll send my spit to Ancestry through you. That'd be great. I don't have to figure it out. I'd found my birth mother 8 years before and she was already dead. We found her death certificate. So there was a lot of like emotional sadness, right, around this whole journey. And then COVID came to Wuhan. And I thought, this is it, put it all back on the shelf because who's going to check spit right now? Like of all the things in the world you wouldn't want to be working on is human spit. And there was just this sense of it's all fine. It's just where it's supposed to be. And at the end of March, as we were going through COVID shutdown here, on the 27th of March, 1 week before my birthday, I got an email saying your DNA's been processed. And I went, oh, this might not be a good thing for whoever's being found, right? And this might not be a good thing for me because it's my birthday coming and I've already had a lot of, shisty birthdays lately. And I want to be okay, right? I want to be okay. Then I thought I asked and the doors opened.
In such a short time. Like
such a short time. 8 weeks. 8 weeks.
Yeah.
8 weeks. And we thought they were shutting down the lab at one point, and it was just like, don't hope, just leave it up there in the universe. And so I said, the door's opening, I'm going through. And then I sat down in 24 hours. I saw some things, sat with someone for an hour, very astute. They've done 160 connections. And she goes on and she says, well, let me walk you through this. And she explains things. And she says, this person right here, I've never seen as high a number before. Like your daughter might be 2/3 of this, but this is really high. She said, this is your sister. Wow. What? I thought I was finding an aunt or a grandparent or something. And then she said, this person here is her sister. These are your sisters. And I'm just literally coming undone inside, wondering where to stand as a person. And then she says, and over here, that's their father. This is your father. And she starts to show me pictures of him and his career. And he worked all over the world on 5 continents. And then she says, well, you have 3 choices. You can say, I'm good. That's all I want right now. I'm good. Or you can say, I'm going to take a breather and I'll let you know. Or you can say, right now, I'm going to step ahead. What do you choose? Is this like a perfect coaching call? Like seriously, like this is.
Well, I just love that. I love her. I'm going to type it here. Or you can step ahead.
Or you can step ahead. So again, I said, here's a door. It might be painful. I don't know what it is, but I asked for doors. I'm going to walk through the door. And at the end of my sentence, she said, well, while you were deciding, I found phone numbers for them online. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to reach out to them tonight and ask if they are open to being connected with someone who's interested in their family. And I'm thinking, that's pretty fast. And it's COVID, right? It's the last week of March. So I said, okay. And then the next hour, she sends me back and says, I got a hold of them and they're isolating together in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on the other coast. And it's their last day tomorrow of isolation. They don't live near each other. Would you be willing to talk to them tomorrow? And I'm thinking, wow, these doors are opening really fast. And it's a super long story. I talked to them the next day, and on the way there, it felt like part of my soul was melting. And I realized it was really the cardboard placeholder of being an adoptee all my life and all the story that I've lived in and the people that I've adapted to. And when I first talked to them, one of the first things I asked them is, would you please tell me the good and true and strong things about your father? And when they told me, I realized there are some of the good and true and strong things about me.
Wow, I'm getting goosebumps right
now. I know. Yes, and you will receive. And so that was the end of March. And 2 weeks later, we thought he was dying. And so they invited me, and I flew to San Diego, where they all grew up, where you are, right, Joan?
Uh-huh.
And I spent a week, because my sister had said on the phone, they're both flight attendants, and she said, God, I just wish we could go somewhere for a week and be with each other. And I didn't grow up with sisters. Like, I know you had more siblings than I did, but I grew up with 2 adoptive brothers, and we were never from the same family in DNA. And so I got to spend a week across the street from the beach at a beautiful spa hotel for $99 a night, because nobody was staying at a hotel. And every day we would go and see our father. And slowly, I was just welcomed into this beautiful gift to me.
I'm giving you a big hug. I'm giving you a big hug.
And so it was hard. And I want to jump ahead because I had COVID in December. And my father died in December, right in the middle of COVID. And now I just got a diagnosis last week that I have cancer. But I'm so happy. And I feel like my father's with me. And I could never even had words for this. Like, isn't that the thing about serendipity? We almost can't find the words because it's so incredible. It's from a sphere higher than us, and we get to be there in that space with our eyes and our soul open. So I don't want to go long. There's other people that want to share, but Joan, thank you.
I hope you and I can connect on the outside, because one of the things I do is grief recovery.
Oh my gosh.
That is one of my specialties. That's my sweet space. And let's connect. You can definitely find me on LinkedIn. My life is very public.
I'm going to reach out, Palmer. I'm
Farmer.
going to link out, and I'm working with adult adoptees now. There are 4 million adult adoptees who've outlived their adoptive families, and they are like orphaned adults because, you know, your identity is important, and it's all your life long. But so, Joan, bless you for doing this show. I will send more people to it, and I hope you do it for a long, long, long time. And Janet, I will reach out. So thank you, ladies.
And if you need to talk today, if you need to talk today, please reach out.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Janet. so
Nan,
much.
Nan, before you go, gosh, congratulations on your vulnerability and your courage and your follow through. And
They were acts of bravery, you know, they were so trust steps.
and
Tra-
Transparency is beautiful.
so
Yeah.
you just took the next one and took the next one, and then I loved how you said, and tell me again because I want to put it in the chat. You didn't say.
Are you recording this? You must be recording this, right? Like, I'm hoping you're recording this. There's so much cool stuff in here. Like, are you recording this?
I'm sure hoping it is. Put it
I
this
hope
way.
you-
This is only my first time actually going like live with people. Elizabeth helped me last night. I liked how you said, you know, I know he was a drunk. Did he ever abuse people?
You don't know what you're going to find. You know, are you going to hurt the person you find, or are you going to be wounded again yourself? It's
But
very
you said the strong. Tell me the
the
strong.
good. This is the words that came to me from the universe. The good and true and strong things about him. And I'm writing a book, and I'm starting an audio app because my father's favorite song is a song I sing every day when I drive away from my house. And the power of DNA, I have been able to watch up front. And now I see in my 5 children, I see their grandfather. And he was a global worker. And guess what, Joan and Janet? Since I found him, and right before I got COVID, I was launching a new direction with my business. I'm now working globally. And everywhere I land, I feel 100% ready to just jump in and go because that's what my father did. And I'm not saying we need to be like our forebears, but I am a living example of we receive from our forebears. And if you've never seen it and you see it, it's shocking, even if you don't look like them.
It enables you to stand on solid ground.
Yes.
Which is so important.
Yeah. So there's many other things. Before I said yes to looking at the DNA, I had spent a month going to trainings in a group I'm in called Toastmasters. And I said yes 14 times in 29 days. And after that many yeses, I was like rocket fuel. I know exactly what my yeses are, and I know exactly what my no's are. And that's what a lot of my coaching is around for leaders is ignite your yeses, you know?
And
so that's what the world needs.
Say no when you mean it. Say no when you mean it.
Clear those no's off the runway. Get your rocket going up there. So I look forward to hearing more stories. And I've got a couple of trainings. I'm speaking at a women's event this week. We ignite event. So
okay, put that on and let me know how I can help support you.
I'd love to. It's all virtual. Anyone can come. So.
And yeah, so every Sunday it's my intention to be here at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time.
I'm gonna mark it and invite people because I'm teaching a class on brilliance and resilience and sharing this journey of hit after hit after hit. And there's something else that ended this last week that I won't share here live, but it's the last thing that is from my former life. And COVID burned out all the dross. So 20 days of sickness, when you get back up out of that bed, illness and grief are powerful teachers. And they help us unpack the garbage, right?
COVID burned out what?
Burned out all the dross. Like all, you know what I'm talking about, Janet, like all the dross.
It refines. It refines.
Yeah. Yeah. So
but there has to be richness, okay? There has to be richness beneath the dross, you to be able to glow the way you are, right? Given all that you've been through. And even before you spoke, the sparkle in your eyes was unreal. So
oh my God.
Of what I knew you were coming with, that just burnt away the dross in your life.
How do you spell that word you're saying?
DROSS. It's the debris that comes up from silver and gold when you heat it so that it can be purified. And Janet, I want to say this, your story, oh man, it touched my heart so much. That picture, the moment, the connections. And when I speak now, I understand, I feel my Father strengthen me. And I'm with total strangers, top government leaders. And I'm like, well, of course I should be in this space with you because I'm the right magnitude for the kind of service that I can give to you. And I think that's something we have to
connect.
Yeah.
We have to connect.
Okay.
Definitely.
Sounds good, Janet. This is important today. Okay. Take care, guys. Love you.
Okay. I'll see you later. I'll see you
Okay.
later.
How do I get off? Oh, here's leave. Bye.
Okay. Okay. Marie, do you want to try getting on, or we just have a few more minutes? I'll put the link back in here.
Do you want me to jump, Joan?
Well, I apparently with the plan I paid for, I can have 3 people.
Do you need me to jump so someone else can come on?
Well, let's see if anybody does. But Elizabeth Nan Hamilton, thank you so much for sharing. I love that you travel. Travel does so much to helping in making connections and understanding the world better. Yes, yes. Let's see. She's going to try it again. What is that picture behind you in the meantime?
It's from Cuba.
And is it a guy playing the
trumpet?
Nice, nice, beautiful.
And that's the old cars in Cuba, and the same guy playing.
Oh, that's nice. And they're.
Let me see if I can show you the picture that I'm talking about.
I was hoping to see it. I was going to ask you, and then I thought, oh no, you wouldn't have it. But yeah.
Do you see it?
Oh, let me see. Go up a little bit more. Oh my gosh, that is a picture of the
Picture that I'm
no, it's a painting of the picture.
Right.
I was hoping to see it. I was going to ask you, and then I thought, oh gosh, you wouldn't have it. But yeah. Okay, so we have joining us Roxanne.
Yeah.
Let's see. Go.
And this is the picture that he painted it
Oh
from.
wait, let me see. Now move it a little bit to. Oh my
Oh,
God!
so
That's the
gorgeous.
black and white.
Oh, it's a painting of the picture.
So gorgeous.
Right.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Okay.
So gorgeous.
So gorgeous. Okay, Roxanne, we just have a few more minutes.
I know. Let me make the most. I don't know.
Do you have 2 devices?
So gorgeous.
So I'm hearing an echo. Okay.
So gorgeous. It seems to be a lot of feedback. I'm anxious to talk, but
Roxanne, we just have a few more minutes.
okay.
I know.
Yeah. I'm going to take this off. I want to talk about homes because that's where a lot of my synchronicity has happened. So first of all, many years ago, we had 5 children in a 2-bedroom house. And 4 of the kids were in 1 bedroom, and then we had a ceremonial crib in the hall, and the other baby was always in the bed. But the girls were going, Mom, tell him to be quiet so we can go to sleep. And the question came to me, I know that there's a provision because I'd already prayed for a provision. But how much longer are we going to be in this house? So what happened is I felt the question was posed to me, what do you really want? And I was conflicted. I wanted to live rurally. Tell him to be quiet so we can go to sleep. And the question came to me, I know that there's a provision because I'd already prayed for a provision. But how much longer are we going to be in this house? So what happened is I felt the question was posed to me, what do you really want?
So a house
And
came
I
to
was
mind that I
conflicted.
had
wanted
gone
to live
by
rurally. very, very another
Tell them to
time.
be quiet so we can go to sleep. And the question came to me,
Oh my goodness.
I know
I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know what to do. Yeah.
this house.
Hmm.
So what happened is I felt the question
I'm gonna
was
jump
posed
off.
to
I'm gonna
me.
leave.
What do
Okay,
you
I'm
really
here every Sunday. Okay, because Janet, we didn't have that, right? We didn't have
She
that.
might have had two devices on or two
Yeah,
windows.
that's
She
what,
might have had two windows open.
that's what I thought. Okay, so Brandy's trying to get on.
Two windows.
Send the link again. For some reason, it won't allow me to. Brandy, are you trying to come in off of Facebook or off of LinkedIn? Now, I wonder if I could do like invite.
I really want to thank you for this space tremendously.
Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up. It's been fantastic. It's been beyond what it's beyond what I thought it could be. And Roxanne says the story is not meant for now. Yeah, so we'll get back. Roxanne, my intention is to be here every Sunday morning at 10:30. So Janet, yeah, I'm gonna reach out and you could be a guest.
Thank you.
I just haven't gotten organized enough to do it. Like Elizabeth was going to be my guest today, and I just didn't get a chance to get my act together. And I'm just trying to punch through some imposter syndrome and some being scared to death to do this. And with all this stuff, I need to learn to make this happen.
If I can support you around that, please.
All right, thank you.
Because that imposter syndrome is real.
It's real.
But it's always before your greatness, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And people want to know. One of the things that COVID has taught us is that irrespective of whether you were a celeb, you were the prime minister of a country, president of a country, everyone had that common place of brokenness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that should empower us because small happens before you become great.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, ladies, I'm going to let you go.
Good one.
Have a great week. I hope this starts your week out awesome.
Thanks for who you are and all you do.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.